All right, if you're a content agency and you want to grow from being just that glorified freelancer, you doing everything yourself, to hiring a team, actually having an effective team who gets more stuff done for you, which takes more stuff off of your plate and allows you to develop and build a team of A players, which eventually can really just run the company for you. So you're no longer needing to do everything. Or if you currently have a team and you feel frustrated, you feel disorganized, and you feel like you don't have any clarity on what your team's actually doing, and you feel frustrated, confused, and you feel like you're just throwing money at team members with no real clarity on what they're actually doing, then this video is going to be for you. I'm going to go through 3 different ways that we're using Notion in order to track and manage our team so that we can increase the ability for us to be effective as a company. The company is a sum of all efforts of the people that are working within the company. And if you're not tracking, if you don't have clarity on what they're doing, and if you're not being organized with that, it's going to be really challenging to scale, to build them up, to train them, to make them a better employee of your company. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through 3 different parts within Notion that you need. And then at the end of the video, we're going to see how we can tie all this into one really streamlined, good view for your team members so that you can start managing people effectively and make sure that you are scaling, because again, it's the sum of everybody's efforts on your team that will make the company grow and scale. And if you don't have accountability, if you don't have any tracking, and if your team isn't working effective, how effective is your company going to be? So first things first that we're going to get into is what we call EOD forms, or you can call them end of day forms. And what you can do is you can change the way your team reports their daily work at the end of the day inside of a tool just like Notion. And when teams share regular updates about their work, it helps everyone manage projects better and talk more clearly and make sure we're actually working on the right things. The whole, I don't want to micromanage, I'll assume that my team is working, or I'll reach out to them and have them give me an update randomly throughout the day, are old ways and not scalable whatsoever. Also gives you zero insight to what your team is actually doing. And if you want to get out of that freelance grind and actually have a team, you need mechanisms to track what your team is doing. The problem is really twofold. One, you have no idea what people are doing. And what this often leads to, and this is, I've done this myself, is it leads to you feeling frustrated or confused. And then you get this like pit in your stomach and you start to question, is my team even working? Like, are they even doing anything? Am I just throwing money away? Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing that you probably come after is your team has no idea what they're doing. And what the EOD form is the KPI. If your team has no KPIs and what actions you want them to do, how are they set up for success? How will they know what they're going to be measured on? If I'm going to get employed by somebody, I want to know what success is, what are my KPIs, what am I being measured on? And you as a leader need to set that up for them. What we need to realize is that EOD forms are a benefit to you as well as the people that they're hiring. It's not any micromanaging, it's nothing like that. It is a benefit. And this makes it easy for you to track progress as well as give your team guidelines on how they can best crush it in their everyday, which is exactly what you want and which is exactly what your team member wants, which is who you're hiring, okay? So I'm gonna stop now and let's get into exactly how this works. Okay, so if we open up Notion, if we go to our dashboard, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up an EOD form database. So what I can do is I can create a database. And basically what I did is I created like their name, and then this is an example for like a video editor essentially. So what you need to think about is what are the questions that I want to ask per role. So in this case, like a video editor, you could just do something simple like edit sent, revisions received, late projects, I guess project management board up to date, and did this get sent on time? What is today's date? Perfect. This is an example. So we're doing from the expectation perspective is we're having our team fill out a form every single day that will automatically get added to here. So how we can track this over time, or how we can build this over time, is first things first is we want to create an EOD form. So you can use Google Forms, you can use Notion Forms, you can use Typeform, you can use Jot Forms. There's so many different forms that you can use. At the end of the day, just create something that we can pin and that we can use in the form, and I'll show you exactly how we're going to use it in a little bit. But first thing first is we create a form. So what is your name? How many video edits? This is an example. Then once we have the form, what we're going to do is we're going to create some automation so that we can automatically get it inside of Notion. So I'm going to use a tool like Zapier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to video editor EOD. Okay. And what's going to happen is my trigger is going to be a Google form. Okay. New form response, continue, form is EOD form example, continue. It's going to test the trigger. Cool. Great. Continue with selected records. Then what I want to add it to is Notion. So if I go video, I want to create a database item, click continue. Choose account, you can see Notion, continue, database, EOD, video editor EOD, and what's going to populate is the cells that we have in the EOD form, okay? So now what we just need to do is we need to fill in their answers. What is your name? Is the action board up to date? Edit sent. Cool. Awesome. So then if we click continue, if we test the step, it will now pop up on the EOD form, essentially, once that is complete. A couple things that you want to avoid when doing an EOD form like this is like too much detail. Like sometimes people write down way too much, ask way too many questions, making the reports long and just more of an administrative nightmare for somebody. We just want to make it really simple. Number two is just not wanting to change. So if you have a team right now, it's going to be an adjustment for people to actually adapt using an end of the day form. And we just want to make sure that this is going to be a benefit for them. And whenever we communicate that we're going to introduce some sort of tracking, some sort of KPIs, we need to make sure we're communicating from the perspective of how this actually benefits them, makes them more effective, gives them ways that you can measure KPIs, and based off of their KPIs, meeting or exceeding, that can involve getting raises, whatever it could be, okay? The other thing is too many tools. If teams are already using a lot of different tools, adding another one for this is going to just feel like a headache. So we just need to make sure we're not throwing too many things like this on their plate and we're keeping it really simple, okay? Another thing would be not actually using it. One of the biggest roadblocks I see is people get all excited about these EOD forms and nobody will actually use it. It is absolutely paramount to actually fill these out every single day. This data is going to be so valuable. Maybe you're at a point where this isn't feeling relevant right now, but over time, this is going to be freaking awesome to see. And as you grow your business is going to be ran very heavily off of data, and we want to make sure we have data in place and systems to start tracking data. And then the last thing is don't be too transactional with the end of day form. We don't want it to just be like 100 different numbers. We want to keep it simple. And another thing that we always do is we always add like questions like, is there anything that we can do to support you today? How is your mindset today? Depending on the role, like, is there anything else that you need from us in order to set you up for success? What are your projections? What are your leading indicators? How are we going to make sure your projections, all that sort of stuff. That is all things EOD form, and that is how you can just set up a simple tracking mechanism inside of Notion so that you can begin to manage the efficiency of your team through an end of day form. So next thing that we want to talk about are goals, okay? We want to be able to improve how our team works by setting weekly goals that are clear and trackable, helping just everyone know exactly what they need to do from a week-to-week basis so we don't feel frustrated. So what we want to do is we want to create a database with goals. So basically what I did is I have the name, which is like the name of the goal. I have the period. So basically the periods are broken out by week, by month, and by quarter. I have the due date of when this goal is due. I have a progress, which is basically a formula, which is the actual divided by target. And then the format is a % of a bar, okay? And then I have actual. The actual is how close are we from this goal? Or what have we done this week so far on this goal? Then the target is what is the target? Then you can choose the department, the status, and who is actually responsible. So how this works in action is, let's just say, cool, my goal this week is to edit 100 short form videos. That's freaking awesome, okay? So let's just say on Tuesday, I'm so far at 20, okay? Now I'm at 20%. So basically what I'm doing when I'm meeting with my team is I'm saying, we're gonna set a goal every single week. Let's just say this week's goal is gonna be post 10 times, gonna be edit 1 YouTube video, whatever it could be, okay? And then we can set the due date as the end of the week. And then what we're able to do is we're going to set the targets. So 100 to 2, okay? And we're going to change this to 0. Just drag this down. Choose the department. We can choose who's responsible. I'm just going to make myself responsible for all of this. Cool. So now throughout the week, if I'm an employee and I'm ever like stuck, I don't know what I need to be doing, what am I going to reference? I'm going to reference my freaking goals. I want to make sure that I'm hitting my goals so I'm crushing it in my role. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like, okay, cool. I'm at 2 videos. No, I did 1 of these. Let's say we did 50 of these, 1 of these, and I had 0 revisions. Or let's just do, I had 2 revisions. Awesome. So now what we can see is we can see where we're at from our goal perspective, and now we can track it, okay? What we can also do is we can create views by team member. So if I want to filter, responsible is Austin. Cool. Now we can see all of the goals for me. So now at the end of the week, we expect the actuals to be updated. And that way on the following week, we can set new goals, and we then move this to the specific month that this is applied to. And what this allows us to do is it allows us to see, how did we do in May? Okay, how did we do last year in May after we start doing these goals every single month? And then when we're asking ourselves, is this person doing well at our company? What do we need to reference? We need to reference the goals. So what's also cool is like you can do it by department. So you can see like the department, how well a specific department is doing. You can do this for sales, set projections for how many appointments you want to set, how many closed deals, how much cash collected, all that sort of stuff, which is really freaking awesome. You can do it by quarter, you can set quarterly goals, etc., etc. So this is a really freaking awesome way to track not only your individual team members, not only just your company, but your departments as well. So now that we've nailed our EOD forms, our goal setting as far as tracking teams, the next thing that we're going to talk about is task management. So outside of fulfillment and goals, we need to organize all the tasks for our team using a task manager. We need to set clear goals using what we call objectives and key results, or OKRs, to help manage important projects and keep everyone on the same page. When tasks are organized and everyone knows what the goal is and what we're shooting for, they will be way more effective, way more organized, and the likelihood of actually getting complete correctly goes way higher. So let's get into it and show you how to use Notion for this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to what we have is an objectives operating system. So up top we have projects, and inside of the projects we have tasks associated. One of our initiatives is we want to create a school group. Okay. So what we're going to do is this is going to move to status to do, priority 1, objective type operations, etc. We can assign it to whoever's going to be responsible. And then I'm going to make this due on the 28th. So now what we can do is we can start to say, cool, I need to create the branding. I need to film videos, etc. And I can start tasking these out. Okay. So if I go here, cool. Great branding, that's going to be BP1, and I'm going to assign this to me. Cool. So now what we're able to do is we're able to see all of the tasks associated with each project. Okay. So now we can see all the tasks associated with creating a school group. So what we need to do on this one actually is we need to assign it. So now I'm able to see all of the tasks to me, and I can see them by due date. So now what I can do is I can create like a really cool view. Do my due date. Now I can see what's due, what are priorities, and when I do them, I can just simply mark them off. Cool. I know I need to create branding in the next 15 days, and I need to do in the next 13 days, and this is associated with creating a school group. So now what we're able to do is, in addition, we can add our team to this, and we can start assigning them tasks that are unrelated to a project. Like, for example, I have a video editor and they've been editing videos for somebody, and I'm like, oh, it would be really cool if they could like create a Loom video showing exactly how they're editing the video, because we're hiring a new video editor and it's going to be really important that we have a really solid training from our top editor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, create a SOP for video editing. Please go ahead and film a Loom video and talk through what you are doing as you're editing. Do it like this. Example. Cool. This is going to be P1. I'm going to make this due for them on Monday. And this is not going to be associated with any project. And I'm going to assign it to the editor on my team, which is going to be Austin. Okay. So now what I can start to see is I can see all the tasks associated with me, because if I'm just going to send that in a Slack message, it's just going to get super disorganized. Now, in addition to like my own tasks, personally, tasks associated to the objectives of the company, I can now start creating tasks for a team, and I can create views for a team member. So let's just say I use like Gilberto, for example. Let's just remove me. Now I can create a view. That's Gilberto tasks. I can create a filter by assign to Gilberto. Boom. Now I can see all the tasks associated with Gilberto that he needs to get done. And basically what you can do is you can do this for every single one of your team members, and then you can start to build this out. Some will be associated with an objective. Some will not be associated with objective. It really just depends on the task. Usually the objectives are a little bit more high level and a little bit more management, but everybody should have eyes on it. So now if I go here, I should say I check this off. Now I can see that this is 50% done, this is 100% done, all these are 100% done, etc., etc. I can see all the objectives, what the status is on all of them to make sure that I'm staying organized with everything. And then I can see all the tasks associated with the objectives, and I can see all the tasks just in general. So this is the master task manager that's been extremely effective for us. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically tie all this together. And I know I kind of jumped around a little bit, but I'm going to show you how you can use Notion to tie everything together, create a specific view for somebody so that they have everything that they need as it pertains to their goals and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Mr. Sandbox. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to go to Team Boards. I'm just going to create a new view. Okay. So let's just say I'm going to create a test view. So what we can do, we can start to link the databases that we just had. Let's just start linking the goals. Cool. Perfect. So I can see this is the goals for client success goals. Let's just say I'm client success goal person. EOD forms. Let's just go ahead and send this. I'm going to get a link, copy. We can literally just go ahead and embed this bad boy into the EOD form so that it shows up. And now all they need to do is fill it up. Okay. So I have the goals. What else do we need? We have the actions. I'm going to link view of database, actions. I'm just going to filter by assigned to me. Cool. Then I'm going to group this by due date. So I can see all of the due dates for me as it pertains to what I need to get done. So I have my goals, I have the actual actions associated with it. And up top here, I have my EOD form. So yeah, I jumped through 3 different things and it can feel overwhelming from like an administrative perspective. But when you organize it, when you make it clean, so let's just do tasks, goals, and EOD form. These 3 things will make tracking your team and just having an efficient team an absolute game changer, because this isn't supposed to be, let's actually add a filter here. Let's do kind of filter done is unchecked. Cool. So I can see all my tasks. So now I have the tasks, I have my goals in front of me. I can start to see my progress and I can update this every single day. Or what you could do is you could like move it and put it as like a resource if you wanted to, or like create a page so it's a little less or a little like more hidden. Goals, cool, test view. This is where you can get creative with just making sure that your team is set up for success and that they have everything that they need in order to absolutely crush. These 3 things are, to me, paramount for keeping you on track, making sure that you are set up for success. Guys, we have more on Notion. We have the same database that you can duplicate inside of our school group. If you go to school.com/agency, so be sure to join our school. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Hopefully you like the stuff about Notion getting a little bit more tactical, and hopefully this expanded your brain a little bit just with team management and how to use Notion for team management. If you guys have any specific questions, be sure to ask them down below. And guys, be sure to join our school group. It is free, school.com/agency. We will drop the link down below too. You'll be able to get more insight into Notion, and we'll see you in there, and then we'll be able to connect, and it'll be freaking awesome. So thanks so much for watching again. We'll see you on the next video.